Time now for our Media Moves segment, the part of the show where we pause to look back at all the things making waves in the mainstream media. This week it was all about Puerto Rican rapper Bad Bunny, who will headline the Super Bowl halftime show. Bad Bunny, who has no songs completely in English, has been critical of the Trump administration's immigration crackdown and even refused to tour stateside, citing concerns over possible ICE raids at his concerts. After the NFL's announcement, Homeland Security Advisor Corey Lewandowski announced that ICE will be in Santa Clara, California for the Super Bowl.
There is nowhere that you can provide safe haven to people who are in this country illegally, not the Super Bowl and nowhere else. We will find you, we will apprehend you, we will put you in a detention facility, and we will deport you. So know that that is a very real situation under this administration, which is completely contrary to how it used to be.
With me now, Caroline Downey, columnist for National Review. Thank you so much for joining me. It's so great to have you. All right, so what was your first reaction to hearing that Bad Bunny was going to be the Super Bowl halftime?
As Gen Z, he's huge. The numbers support that he's very popular, but that's different than being mainstream. And what I've noticed is that the music industry, the entertainment industry, the way it's going is toward trendy artists, groups that, again, are very popular with certain segments of the population, but I guarantee that half of Americans had to Google Bad Bunny in order to figure out who was playing the halftime show. And so I wouldn't say that he's kind of a household name. And in the past, you know, Madonna, that would be a household name. Kind of like Kendrick Lamar last year, Bad Bunny is somewhat obscure to a good chunk of people. And also this family-friendly idea. I wish that the Super Bowl halftime show would be more family-friendly, and I think we're unfortunately in this trend of a lot of expletives, you know, a lot of kind of profanity on stage. It's not exactly for the children. And as far as the Super Bowl being like a quintessential American institution, it'd be nice if your performance was partially in English, because that's the audience.
Right. I had a very similar reaction to the English thing. Where are you on ICE showing up at the Super Bowl?
So I think it's well documented that large-scale events like the Super Bowl provide plenty of opportunities for human traffickers and smugglers, especially in the hospitality industry, in the construction industry. This is such a huge operation, the Super Bowl, just the setup. I have no doubt that there will be some voids, some opportunities for, you know, bad actors to be there. And if you support what ICE is doing with deportations, then nothing is off the table. No venue is supposedly immune for that to apprehend people. But if you oppose what ICE is doing, then no deportations are good.
It's such a good point. Do you think that if there are scenes at the Super Bowl of ICE apprehending people, that this is likely to work in the Republicans' favor or in the Democrats' favor?
That's a good question. I think if it were to disrupt the event, like I said, it's this Americana classic recreational like hallmark of our culture. I don't think the optics will go well for Republicans, but say there's a big bust related to human trafficking and some of those who are apprehended have really bad criminal records. I think that could be a win for Republicans, especially if, like I said, families are there and, you know, these illegal aliens, if they took advantage of the fact that this was a really large event, but it's a huge crowd, right? And it could get messy. So I'm interested to see how it goes.
I also wanted to talk to you about, so Dave Chappelle was one of many comedians who went to this comedy festival in the capital of comedy and free speech, Saudi Arabia. Of course, I'm being ironical because there is no free speech in Saudi Arabia, and yet Dave Chappelle had this to say about being there. Apparently, according to Dave Chappelle, there is more free speech at Saudi Arabia than there is in America. It's easier to talk here than it is in America, is what he said. Give us the background about this ridiculous comedy festival and where you fall on this.
Well, first I'll say that if Dave Chappelle is saying that there's bottom-top censorship in America, he'd be right about that. Cancel culture is very much rampant. Just the policing among peers is a really bad precedent we have in America. And also during COVID and during the Biden administration, there was plenty of actual government cooperation with social media companies to actually suppress conservatives and free speech related to public health information or even the Hunter Biden laptop story. So there's some evidence that, yeah, okay, we are a little bit into the slippery slope of authoritarian free speech repression. However, Dave Chappelle is a very wealthy and famous comedian. He's one of many comics that agreed to take a large check to perform in Saudi Arabia. And the question there is the geopolitics for me. So we know that during Henry Kissinger's time, during the Nixon administration, they were really hell-bent on kind of legitimizing China so that they could be a diplomatic partner. My question is, what is Saudi Arabia's intention here? Because it's not just in the comedy world, it's with the LIV golf tournament. I mean, the Saudi Arabia Music Commission has a deal with the Metropolitan Opera. So why is Saudi Arabia so keen on showing their interest, or it's like, or influencing, you know, our entertainment, our recreational industries?
Yeah. Caroline, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.